If the low histamine diet helped you at first and then made you feel miserable, this video is for you. Hi and welcome. I'm Carrie Bailey, your no BS, soul-aligned, functional nutritionist. I help you get to the real root cause of your symptoms so that you can finally heal. We're talking about something that's been getting a lot of attention lately. McGill University published an article questioning who the low histamine diet is actually helping. And I have to say, it's about time, because so many people start this diet hoping it will fix their symptoms, only to end up worse. Before we dive in, if you haven't already, grab my free long COVID recovery guide. It's packed with food and supplement strategies that help you heal at the root. You can get it at longcovidrecoveryguide.com, or I'll put a link in the description below. So at first, the low histamine diet can feel magic. You cut out a bunch of foods that help calm your symptoms down, but then maybe a few weeks or a few months later, it all falls apart. You start reacting to everything. You're tired, you're dizzy, you're anxious, and you're even scared to eat at this point. You didn't do anything wrong. You were just trying to help your body. Maybe a practitioner told you to try the low histamine diet. Maybe you read it on a Reddit group. But this diet is a tool. It's not a life sentence. And when you stay on it for a long time, it can actually make your terrain weaker. Let's start with the basics. Histamine intolerance isn't really about the food. It's about how well your body can break down and eliminate histamine. That happens through methylation, through detoxification, and your liver is at the center of this whole process. When your liver is sluggish and nutrient deficient, histamine builds up. And a lot of people will say something like, well, I reacted to tomatoes, so I must have a histamine intolerance. But what's really happening is that their liver is overwhelmed. Their nervous system is overwhelmed. And here's the kicker. When people go on a low histamine diet, they often switch to eating more meats and nuts and oils and dairy because they're told they're low histamine, they're safe foods. But too much fat can slow down bile, can slow down stomach acid, and which in turn increases ammonia and feeds pathogens, so the terrain gets worse. And that's how people end up on 5 foods. What's actually driving these histamine reactions? It's what's happening in your body. It's not the food itself. So there's about 4 major areas of things that are happening all at once at sometimes. So one is you have viral waste, and that's inflaming your central nervous system and making your nervous system hypersensitive. You've also got heavy metals. These can be in your brain, in your gut, and what happens is they oxidize. Just like a steel post outside is going to rust, those heavy metals inside your body are going to rust. They're going to oxidize. And this causes neuroinflammation. You've also got the environment of low stomach acid and low bile flow, again, probably triggered by the virus messing with the functioning of your organs. What happens when there's low stomach acid and low bile, then your body tries to break down and digest proteins, especially animal proteins. But if you're vegan, it can be nuts and seeds and other things. These are the hardest things for your body to digest. And if it can't digest it, it's going to create ammonia. It's going to create undigested food. And that ammonia is going to seep into your brain, into your bloodstream. It's going to cause brain fog, and it's just going to be another thing that your liver is burdened with that it can't get rid of. The fourth factor that's always at play is chronic stress and stimulants. So you might be taking caffeine if you are feeling tired. And all of that is driving adrenaline, increasing adrenaline. And elevated adrenaline mimics histamine reactions. So things like flushing, dizziness, heart palpitations, and shortness of breath. Those are also symptoms found when there's too much adrenaline in the system. Think about like an anxiety attack, similar experience. So if you're dealing with MCAS and long COVID, these layers just pile on top of each other. And it's easy to get scared of food. I totally get it. I have done it myself too. I have blamed my symptoms on the wrong thing. Maybe I blamed it on the food or blamed it on myself. But fear itself drives adrenaline, and that just adds more pressure to your system. That's why one of the first things I do with clients is calm their nervous system. We do that with both lifestyle as well as food and supplements. So lifestyle-wise, maybe that's bringing in more breathing, more meditation, more guided meditation, more resting, more just calming that nervous system in a plethora of different ways. You can't heal when you're afraid of eating. You can't heal if you're living in fight or flight. The real root cause behind histamine issues are toxins and pathogens. And for me, just knowing that, it helps me not have a fear of food. And hopefully that's creating some relief for you to understand that it's not the food. It's the terrain of your body. It's the toxins and pathogens. When you start healing, sometimes these pathogens fight back. And so you might find that you're bringing in more healing foods, more fruits and vegetables. And if you react to those and this cause symptoms, understand that it's like if you cornered a skunk in the yard, right? It's going to spray you. And that's kind of the same idea with these pathogens, is they're going to release a poison because they don't want you to kill them. These aren't always food reactions. Sometimes these are actually die-off or detox reactions. Instead of removing more foods, we need to start rebuilding. Is this helpful? Does it help to understand what's at the true root cause? Does that give you any relief? I would love to hear your story. If you're dealing with food fear, if you tried the low histamine diet. Let's talk about what really works, what to bring in first, focusing more on what to bring in, not what to remove. I think it's harder if I were to give you a list of things to avoid, and then you're stuck figuring out what to eat. Instead, I'd rather tell you what to eat, and so that you aren't confused about what to eat. The first thing I like to bring in is lemon water. And I know before you say it, you're going to tell me that lemon or citrus is supposed to be avoided on a low histamine diet. But here's what I want to tell you. First of all, what's great about lemon water, first thing in the morning on an empty stomach, is it flushes your whole system. It flushes the liver, all the things that your liver's been working all night, all those toxins your liver stirred up in the night to try to get rid of, that just flushes them out of the system. Now, the other thing I want to tell you is that most citric acid today, because what you really want to avoid is citric acid, not citrus. Those are different things. So today's citric acid is not made from citrus. It's made from genetically modified corn, which is created using black mold. And that's why it's so reactive. So you want to read and eliminate citric acid from all the ingredients of all the things that you enjoy. Next, we want to bring in, going back to the terrain of the body, we want to start reducing the toxins and pathogens. So we want to very slowly, very gently bring in antiviral herbs, things like cat's claw and lemon balm and licorice root. I like to bring in alcohol-free tinctures so that you can just go drop by drop and just slowly bring them in. We need to support the liver. And what the liver loves is leafy greens. The liver loves leafy greens, also fruits or lots of glucose-rich foods. When you think about leafy greens, hopefully you're doing okay with spinach. But if it's one thing that you avoided because of histamine, then did you avoid it because you had a reaction, or did you avoid it because they said to avoid it, right? So if you can tolerate spinach, great, bring in spinach. But if you're scared and you want to start with something a little gentler, you can try butter lettuce, red or leaf lettuce, or even romaine. Those are all gentle and leafy greens. Support your nervous system in addition to the lifestyle factors we talked about earlier. There are 4 key nutrients you can bring in: magnesium, B12 in the adenosine and methyl forms, GABA, and melatonin. And again, melatonin isn't just a magical sleep hormone, right? It's an antioxidant. It is very healing and calming for your nervous system. We also want to bring in some really grounding vegetables, which are your starchy vegetables, your fruits. These are all very grounding. I love potatoes because potatoes are low histamine. It's a great place to start. If you have experimented with bananas and papayas and you're doing okay with bananas and papayas, you can bring those in slowly. And if you're hesitant to do it, start with potatoes or start with just a bite of banana, see how you do. a bite of papaya. And I always like to recommend doing it systematically. That means putting in a bite of banana for 4 days, then putting in a quarter or an eighth of papaya every day for 4 days, right? And just see how your body does for those 4 days. Remembering that it's not the food, it's the pathogens. You need to support digestion because so much of MCAS, so much of histamine issues has to do with the liver and your digestive system. So the first thing we want to bring in is ginger. I love to grate up some fresh ginger and put it in water, keep it in their fridge, and then just drink a little bit each day. You can also just make it super concentrated and reconstitute it. So ginger you can drink warm or cold, whatever you like. You can also bring in aloe vera. So at most grocery stores in the produce section, you're going to find those giant aloe vera leaves. You're going to peel off the outside green layer, and inside you're going to get the slimy, gooey part. And that's the part you can just eat straight. You can mix it in water. It's a little bit bitter, so if you need to put in some kind of sweetener in it, like honey or maple syrup. And then you want to bring in celery juice. Celery juice is going to kick up your stomach acid and your bile flow. It's going to bring those back online so that you can digest your food. Just like the histamine diet, I like to avoid vinegar and fermented foods because those pickle your liver. They are doing nothing really as far as bringing in good bacteria. In place of vinegar, bring in lemon, lime, citrus juice, things like that. And then the last thing you want to remove are gluten, dairy, eggs, corn, soy, and really any processed foods. And what's going to serve you better than anything is really just to make your own food. Anytime you make your own food, you're avoiding any risk of not knowing what's in your food, not knowing what kind of cooking products they used, right? Did they use an aluminum pan? Did they use a stainless steel pan? How did they cook your food? What oils did they use? So just doing it for yourself is more work, but it's also a safer way to go. Healing histamine intolerance is about working with your body, not against it. You're not broken, you're just overwhelmed, and you just need to take care of it like a baby, just gently. So if you want to rebuild your terrain, I want you to grab my Long COVID Recovery Guide at longcovidrecoveryguide.com or in the description below. And remember that food is meant to heal you, not scare you. If today's video was helpful, please share it with a friend and consider subscribing. This next video I picked just for you. Thanks so much for watching. Bye for now.